One might say to themselves, why does a guy at 41 years old who couldn't play against the San Antonio Spurs because allegedly he had a bad ankle and couldn't go? We know what he's really doing, folks. He's waiting to play against lesser opponents so he can stat pad, because that's what he does.
Craig Carton just went nuclear on LeBron James for stat padding against the Mavericks while claiming he was too injured to play against the Spurs. The Lakers were up 16 with 3 minutes left, and LeBron refused to leave the court, even going so far as to steal a rebound from his own teammate to secure a triple-double. J.J. Redick even called a timeout just to prevent Austin Reaves from grabbing another board. At 41 years old, this is absolutely pathetic behavior.
LeBron James is a fraud. LeBron James, once again, proves that he's a pat-standing clown and should never again ever be mentioned in the same breath as the greats who have ever played this great game that we call National Basketball Association basketball.
So what do you think? Is LeBron just a stat chaser who only cares about personal records, or is Carton overreacting to a legendary player chasing history? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.
Oh, look at LeBron James. Oh, this guy has to have a triple-double. Funny how his ankle wasn't good enough for him to play the night before against the San Antonio Spurs, but in a night when you have no Cooper Flag and the Mavericks are a bad basketball team with half their roster out, LeBron James not only plays, and obviously played very well last night.
Here's exactly what happened, and why it's even worse than it sounds. LeBron sat out the game against the San Antonio Spurs, claiming his ankle was too sore to play. Resting made sense, he's 41, after all. But then, the very next game against the Dallas Mavericks, suddenly his ankle was miraculously healed. Not just healed enough to play, but healed enough to stay on the court in a blowout. The Lakers were up 16 points with just over 3 minutes left. The game was already decided. There was no reason for any starter, let alone a 41-year-old allegedly nursing an ankle, to remain in the game. But LeBron stayed. Why? He needed one more rebound to hit a triple-double. Points? Check. Assists? Check. But that final rebound? He couldn't leave without it, because headlines about him being the oldest player ever with a triple-double were more important than the game itself. And here's where it gets truly embarrassing.
Against the Mavericks, I want you to walk me through this. LA Lakers up by 16 points, 3 minutes and change to go. Mavericks miss a shot, and Austin Reaves gets a rebound, and everybody starts yelling at him because that should have been LeBron's rebound to get the triple-double.
Austin Reaves grabbed a defensive rebound, doing exactly what a player is supposed to do: secure the ball, run the clock, and close out the game. But his teammates immediately yelled at him. Why? Because that rebound was supposed to be LeBron's. The team knew he was staying in the game specifically to pad his stats, and Reaves had committed the crime of playing basketball normally.
After Austin Reaves gets that rebound, J.J. Redick actually calls a timeout. Now I'm thinking they're calling a timeout to get all the starters out of the game, because you're up by 16, 3 minutes to go, the game is a wrap. That's not why he called timeout. He called timeout so that they could tell Austin Reaves, no more rebounds. You stole a rebound from LeBron, and LeBron's not coming out of the game until he gets a triple-double. Because again, it's not about his well-being. It's not about protecting him for a playoff run. It's about stat padding. We got to make sure LeBron gets one more rebound so that he gets a triple-double, and then we'll take him out of the game.
Then J.J. Redick called a timeout with 3 minutes left in a game already decided. You'd think the timeout was to rest the starters and let the bench finish out garbage time. That's standard coaching, right? Wrong. Redick called the timeout to tell Austin Reaves to stop grabbing rebounds. The message was crystal clear: LeBron is staying in until he gets his triple-double, so everyone must step aside and make sure he gets that last rebound. Don't box out too hard. Don't jump for loose balls. Let LeBron have it. Only then could the team go home.
Not healthy enough to play against the Spurs, healthy enough to play against the Mavericks without Cooper Flag, and wouldn't come out of the game up by 16, 3 minutes and change to go, until he does what? until he stat pads, gets the extra rebound, which he stole from Hayes on his own team so that he could get the triple-double. Now let's call another timeout. Let's get him out of the game so everybody can celebrate that at 41 years old, he's good enough to get a triple-double.
This is genuinely pathetic behavior from everyone involved. LeBron is 41, supposedly managing a bad ankle, and playing for a team still fighting for playoff positioning. Every game matters. Every minute of rest matters. But instead of prioritizing the team's long-term success, LeBron prioritized another individual stat. And JJ Redick enabled it. Instead of protecting his star player from unnecessary injury risk, Redick kept him in a meaningless situation to chase personal glory. That's coaching malpractice. That's putting personal legacy ahead of team success.
Team success.
But the reality is this. It was on display last night. You can choose not to see it. You can choose to change the narrative of it.
What narrative?
That was
Back to back.
another abuse of stat padding by your self-appointed GOAT.
Craig Carton's criticism hits hard because it exposes a clear pattern. LeBron sat out against the Spurs, a competitive team that could have actually challenged the Lakers. Then he returned against the Mavericks, a weakened team missing their best player. That's not injury management. That's cherry-picking opponents. If your ankle is truly hurt, you sit out regardless of who you're facing. But LeBron's actions suggest the opposite: skip the tough matchup, play the easy one, and rack up stats against inferior competition. Stat padding accusations aren't new for LeBron. In his later years, he's been known to stay in blowouts just to hit milestones, hunting assists or rebounds to reach round numbers. But this incident is egregious because it involves the injury excuse. You can't claim you're too hurt to play one night, then rack up heavy minutes the next in a meaningless game. It destroys credibility and makes people question whether the injury was real or just a convenient excuse. LeBron supporters often argue that at 41, he's still elite, that triple-doubles prove his greatness, and that he's earned the right to chase records after 22 years in the league. All true. His longevity is remarkable. But greatness doesn't give you permission to put personal stats over team success. Staying in a blowout to pad numbers isn't admirable, it's selfish. Some try to defend him by pointing out he played the Thunder, a tougher opponent, before skipping the Spurs. But that argument actually strengthens the cherry-picking narrative: play the hard matchup, skip the easy one, then pad stats against a depleted team. The comparison to Michael Jordan is unavoidable. Jordan, even in his late 30s and early 40s with the Wizards, played every game he could. He didn't sit out strategically, and he didn't stay in blowouts to chase stats. Kobe didn't do this either. He played through injuries, destroyed his body to carry weak Lakers teams, but when games were decided, he stepped aside for his teammates. The idea of Kobe staying in a 16-point game with 3 minutes left just to grab one rebound for a triple-double? Laughable. LeBron has always been more stat-conscious, aware of his place in history, chasing every record, his chosen one tattoo, social media celebrations, the constant GOAT comparisons. But there's a difference between legacy awareness and actively sabotaging your team's best interests to chase numbers. The Lakers are fighting for playoff positioning in a brutal Western Conference. Every game matters. Every minute counts. Wasting energy and risking injury in garbage time serves no team purpose, only LeBron's individual legacy goals. JJ Redick is in a nearly impossible position. As a first-year head coach handpicked by LeBron, he has almost no authority to say no. LeBron controls minutes, roles, and games. That's bad for team structure and accountability. It also exposes hypocrisy in basketball discussions. LeBron wins? Leadership and IQ. He loses? Teammates let him down. He pads stats? Celebrated as chasing history. Others do it, like Russell Westbrook? Selfish and teamless. Double standards everywhere. Being the oldest player with a triple-double might sound impressive, but in reality, it's trivia. He stayed in a meaningless game, stole rebounds from teammates, and left immediately after hitting the milestone. That's an empty achievement, not leadership. Compare that to meaningful records, career points, playoff wins. Those reflect sustained excellence and team success. LeBron treats every milestone like it's as important as a championship, celebrating and amplifying them on social media while the media fuels the GOAT debate. Jordan didn't need that. 6 rings spoke for themselves. LeBron relies on sheer statistical accumulation to justify greatness. The Lakers fans who defend this behavior do a disservice to the team. You should want LeBron rested in blowouts, ready for competitive games, prioritizing playoff success over personal record chasing. But the culture around LeBron has trained fans to celebrate individual achievements over team needs. The final insult? As soon as LeBron got the rebound for the triple-double, he left. The game wasn't competitive, he didn't stay for the team. Carton exposed exactly what LeBron has become, a 41-year-old stat chaser who skips tough competition, cherry-picks easy games, steals rebounds from teammates, hits a milestone, and leaves. That's selfish legacy management, not leadership. Hit like and subscribe for more reality checks on overrated superstars.